What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here. So I just spent 5 hours with the new Rainbow Six Siege Alpha, and I wanted to do a brief, unscripted video talking about how it feels right now. Obviously the game is in alpha, so it's going to go through some dramatic changes before it even goes to beta, where it's going to go through more changes before it's released. So everything in this video is only remarking on the way the game currently plays and feels. In the alpha, we had access to one game mode and 2 maps to play on. We are playing Hostage Rescue, which plays a lot like Counter-Strike's Hostage Rescue. You're trying to break into a map, grab some people, and get out as fast as possible. At the start, terrorists spawn inside a base, and they have 30 seconds to armor the place as much as possible. Depending on the class you choose, you can set up barricades that block doorways, drop barbed wire, or lay landmines, anything you can to try and slow them down as much as possible. Once you set all your traps, you just need to find a good place to hide, because all you need to do to win is kill the entire enemy team. That's it. If you kill the enemy team and the hostages live, then you win. Playing as the terrorist requires a lot more patience than the counter-terrorist because you do have to do more waiting. A lot of times you're standing next to a door with a shotgun, just kind of waiting and holding your breath. On the other hand, playing as the counter-terrorist felt a lot more fun, mostly because all your classes are focused on just tearing the place apart. You can have a class that spawns with a sledgehammer, or a guy who has robots so you can scout the entire level right at the start, or you can just grab some explosives and start nuking your way through the walls. The levels are extremely destructive, and I always thought it was funny to see what a level looked like at the end. At the start, everything's nice and full and well built, and overall really well designed, but at the end, it's all blown to hell. The 2 levels you can play on are a huge house and a plane that's sitting on a landing strip. Both maps are really well tuned because they're so focused on close-quartered combat. I don't think I ever killed anybody long range, or at least nobody outside about a 50-foot radius. It felt like every death was so frustrating and visceral. It almost made me scream at times because it just felt like they outmaneuvered me or outnumbered me with every death. While playing on the plane level as a counter-terrorist, I really had to figure out the map as fast as possible and try and build up all the paths in my head, because it's 3 floors and has a lot of winding paths. In the plane, it didn't feel like terrorist door blockers did very much good, unlike on the house level, mostly because in the plane there's 3 or 4 ways into and out of every room. Even if I ran full speed into a barricade, I could usually just zip around it with 0 trouble, and it usually just tipped me off that there's probably something important like a hostage inside. The house map was a little easier to figure out overall, but only because it had a lot more human landmarks. It was easy to understand all the different floors, basements, ceiling, and everything all together. Playing as the counter-terrorist on the house level felt a little easier. I felt like I could get in there before they could really set up enough traps. My team also kept running into a strange glitch when I was playing as the counter-terrorists on the house level. For some reason, every time I was setting up landmines, they kept blowing up in my face, or they'd blow up and hurt the hostage and immediately lose the game. The game does a really good job of feeling alive, unlike other first-person shooters which can sometimes really feel cold and calculated. I really like Call of Duty maps a lot, but sometimes they're so symmetrical and so well constructed that it just feels like you're running around on a little kid's notepad sketching out his dream house. As for primary glitches I ran into over and over again, the main thing was frame tearing, really bad game crashes, low resolution textures in the background which they said they're gonna fix, and sometimes my game would just randomly end or it'd kick me out and put me in another game that was ending at the same time. This is, again, an alpha, so running into these glitches is really common. I did think the frame rate stayed great most of the time. 60 frames a second in those little close indoor fights felt good, although I still think they need to tinker with it a little more. I really enjoyed participating in this closed alpha, but I'm looking even more forward to the closed beta, because honestly, this game needs a little bit more work before it's ready to go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This has been another DreamcastGuy review. If you like this, do me a favor and like the video and share it with your friends. If it's your first time watching, consider subscribing, but do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.